Come along and join us on this adventure as we join a tag-along tour and cross the Simpson Desert. After meeting up with fellow travellers at Windorah, we would make our way west to Birdsville. Taking the QAA line to Popple Corner, then it was onto the French line before turning south past the Knolls and then joining the Rig Road, then Dowhouse Springs, Mount Dare, Old Endado, then into Alice Springs via St. Teresa.
It looks so big.
Well, here we are, folks. We're just leaving. We're just leaving somewhere because it was very late getting in there last night. We were just leaving Charleville. Some dramas yesterday, but you suck it all in and move on. The starter wouldn't start. 5 o'clock start. We ended up in at Charleville at 9:20. So here we are. We're on our way to Quilpie. From Quilpie through to Windorah. So it's a nice leisurely transit day today.
Don't get out what you're putting in. All your hopes and efforts were all in vain.
Wild emus on the side of the road on our way to Quilpie.
You've lost everything. Does it all become for granted with a wedding ring?
Quilpie is the first place you pass through after leaving Charleville heading west. Situated in the Channel Country of southwest Queensland, and it has a population of around 570 people. It's a great place to stop for a pie and a coffee after leaving Charleville. This contraption is an old Spanish windlass. In years past it was used to haul stone and hopefully opal gems from below the earth. It's situated about 2 k's out of town at the side of an old gem mine, and you're able to have a bit of a fossick here yourself if you like. After stretching our legs, we travelled further west.
Rode out of Quilpie on the way to Windorah.
There's pretty well one thing you can rely on out here is the courtesy of other drivers. They generally share the road well, as both parties don't want to be showered in stones or gravel. Oh yes, and you need to look out for local wildlife, as they can become a bit suicidal at times. For those that have not been to the outback before or are from overseas, this is not an uncommon sight throughout parts of the Australian outback. Yes, a runway. The road is widened and there will be signs erected at either end advising that this section of road needs to be kept clear to allow aircraft, the likes of the Royal Flying Doctor Service, to land.
This is Cooper's Creek.
Yeah, we're on the nature trail around Cooper's Creek. This is part of it.
As you cross the bridge, you hang a left and follow your nose. The last time we missed this. But maybe you need to take it closer to dark, as we didn't see anything that we hadn't seen all day. Maybe our expectations were set a bit high, but I'm still not sure what we expected to see. Then it was into town to refuel, ready to meet up with our travelling companions for the next 10 days. We were about nice and early, and like a couple of kids at Christmas, so excited to be back in the outback. I ventured outside and was confronted with this. Yes, it was my birthday, and the Prado had been tarted up with balloons.
Just leaving the cabins to meet up at the Windorah pub. And as you can see, they've decorated his birthday card.
Well, let me explain the funny hat. If you have a birthday on the trip, you have to wear the funny hat all day. And who am I to break with tradition? Did I tell you? Oh goody, you get to keep it.
We are now in convoy on our way to Birdsville, day one of our official trip. These flowers, these trees that are in flower on the side of bloodwood trees, quite pretty.
So this is how we end
And as you can see, there is lots and lots of vegetation on the side of the road, which, because of the 3 years of rains that they've had out here, has just absolutely bloomed all the vegetation. Because normally this would all just be dust and dirt. But there's still water lying on the side of the roads and pools, so it's still quite damp underneath, which is why everything's flowering so nice.
First stop is the old township of Canterbury, more commonly known as JC. The hotel and township have since disappeared, and all that's left is a nearby small cemetery. The ruins are strewn with broken bottles that date back to the turn of the century. One can only ponder what it would have been like to have lived and worked here, with summer temps in the high 40s for months on end.
This is Marian. We have an oncoming at lead.
Sweet copies.
Yeah, copy that. Rest copy that. Copy.
Whoop, this is the Diamantina Basin. We're just entering. Quite impressive. As you can see, it's still quite windy. The wind's blowing the dust away, which is really good. This is the turn off to Minka or Haddon's Corner. So Birdsville keeps going that way, which we'll come back to. Corner, 15 kilometres. Check out the green vegetation. This is just heaps more than there was last time we were here. We're getting to the base of our first sand dune crossing, which is on our way to Haddon's Corner.
wait till you get to the top before going.
Yep.
No, it's pretty firm, Jeff. You can come on up. As you come over this dune, you'll see some flowers out on some of the bushes, your typical wattle. There's also another little one past there. It's called a parrot pea. It belongs to the family of the desert pea.
See, all the tunes are like that.
Yeah. Nice and hard. Not soft at all.
Yeah. But it's that
Yeah.
corrugation.
John, the reason I said no, keep going is we've only got 2 sand dunes and we're at the corner.
Okie doke.
Oh, look at it. No, it does look like the Sturt's desert pea, and it's green. Heading back out of Haddon's Corner.
Talk about wow factors, this has it in spades. This is Dion's Lookout, a spectacular 360 degree view of the amazing Channel Country. You can see the lines of green where the water is channeled into this parched country and its surroundings. The lookout is named after a popular Birdsville local lad, Dion Brooke. A monument was erected by the residents of the Diamantina Shire in memory of Dion. At the age of 20, he was tragically killed in a helicopter accident 18 nautical miles southwest of the lookout on the 25th of April 1996. Peace to all travellers who share this view, the monument states.
Sweet copies too oncoming.
So pass through is called Batuta. You'll see it on your map, those that are following the map. There's nothing there these days. There's what used to be a hotel, which is now closed. It hasn't been licensed since the 80s, I think. And race course. They do have a race meeting, and I believe it's coming up shortly this coming weekend. So there could be some activity there as we go through.
Water lying on the side of the road. And they built the road up so to get over it.
Oh, sweet. We arrive in Birdsville for the night. You can't come to Birdsville without checking out some of its iconic landmarks. First was the racetrack, way back in the spring of 1882, when a group of 150 owners, managers and stockmen came together on the South Australian and Queensland border for the first and unofficial Birdsville races. It's hard to believe that in 1 week around 6,000 people are going to descend on this place. It now boasts prize money of $200,000 and has become an iconic Australian event. Yeah, well here we are, just about ready to fuel up and ready to hit the desert. Before we meet up with the others, it's off to the bakery for one of their famous camel pies. And you can't forget the pub, established in 1884. We had dinner here last night and it truly is an oasis. You just don't come to Birdsville and not go to the pub. It's almost a religion. Yeah, well here we are. We're about to leave the Birdsville Hotel, heading out to Big Red. About 30 kilometres out of Birdsville last night, our party came across a motorcyclist that had suffered an incident where the bike and him had parted company. Needless to say, he was not super healthy. After checking for broken bones, etc., we moved some gear between vehicles to allow us to transfer him into Birdsville. Happy to say we delivered him into the Birdsville Medical Centre where he could receive the necessary treatment.
The fence line is the South Australian border, so we have come all the way down to the border to go back up to Big Red. That's how bad the wet is.
So this is how we end up. Shades of blue and grey. I feel just like an empty bottle. My dreams are on delay. I just wanna climb on top of a hill and throw it all away, away. Take me far away before my mind spins off and I am all derailed, derailed. Just drive all the way to the rainbow's end. Just drive and we'll never turn our backs again. So this is how we end up. The game is set to play. Every day remains the same now. One decision we obey. I just wanna climb on top of a hill and throw it all away, away. Take me far away before my mind spins off and I am all derailed, derailed. Just drive all the way to the rainbow's end. Just drive and we'll never turn our backs again.
This is the western side of Big Red in front of us. As you can see, there's some vehicles up there.
reason we had to do the detour. Man, look at that water. That's the eastern side of Big Red. It's amazing. How's it gonna go?
I think you made it up all right. Races do get to the top, you can maybe fine with that. It's like a highway really on that side. Change your mind there. And over. Oh, very smooth.
First of our serious sand dunes. John and Liz up.
There's a nice view from the top of this one, straight ahead. Seems to go on forever. And off to your half left is the classic Salt Lake, stark white, quite beautiful actually. So if you come off the top of the dune and down a few metres, you can get a really good camera angle on it. So we'll just move on a little bit, pull up down here, and Sweet, let us know when you're past the view of the Salt Lake, and then we'll continue, mate.
Salt Lake.
Yeah, we just clear the top so you can get this one in the back of this. There you go. Block just here on this corner.
Yeah, it's all dug out.
Coming up. He's a good fella. He's shading her from the sun.
That'd be my guess.
Yeah. It's fucking gonna be hard coming up that one.
Look how green it is.
Small birds you start to see along here. You might have seen some already. They'll start to appear in sort of reasonable numbers, small flocks. And they look like a small dove shape. The head does anyway, but they're actually called a spinifex bird.
And we never got this until we hit the detour.
Oh no, I was going to
last
say, it basically, it'll spoil Air Creek because there was nothing, and then you drove over the hill and here was this green, you'd be looking at brown all day.
Now look at this. This is just so green.
This is just like unbelievable, isn't it?
Definitely, you wouldn't see this in the normal desert normally.
They probably, the trees were there probably this, but they were dormant.
Yep.
Stop now.
Just incredible. This is on the bypass to Air Creek, and there are hundreds and hundreds of waterfowls. Hundreds and hundreds of waterfowls, native hens in
I
the
think there was
marsh.
an old sort of half a sand flag hanging in it anyway.
Just approaching Air Creek.
So Cooper Creek would have been dry last time you came out.
No.
No? A little bit of water.
Had water in it, yeah. Join us next time when we wade the vehicles across Egg Creek. I sacrifice a beer for the good of the team. We learn that there is no room for complacency in the desert, and there is nothing like a soak in a hot spring after a hard day on the track.